Hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw elevations. So I'm back to my house, 114 Berry Street, and I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to copy it to a couple of places over here, just like so. Then I'm going to rotate a couple of these. So I'm going to go first, I'm going to go to the right, which is down. Then I'm going to go to the rear, which is to the left. Then I'm going to go to the left, which is up. All right. So now I can look at this side, or I can look at the front, I can look at the side, I can look at the back, and I can look at the other side. What I'm going to do, and this is where we get the term projection drawings, is I'm going to project down to do my elevation. So first of all, I'm going to start with a baseline, and that is a construction line at horizontal. I'm going to drop that in there just like that. Then I'm going to offset it to 8 foot, 1.5 inches, which gives me a stud wall. This is the stud, a very, what am I trying to say? A 93-inch stud. I'm going to just move that up a little closer there. I didn't want to copy it, I meant to move. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the sides because the ridge line runs this way. So it'll run across through here to this point, and then it's going to jump and it'll run across through here. So I want to get that height of the gable roof first. So I'm going to just get me a series of vertical construction lines to start with, and I'm just going to pop them in there at various points. And for right now, I'm not going to do the windows. I'm going to go right over here and just do the outsides. Okay, so now what I can do is I can determine what height the gable roof is going to be. And real quickly, what I can do is just take a line, I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to say 12, and then I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to say, let's do a 6 and 12 roof. So I'm just going to say 6. All right, now I have that. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to my wall section. I want to show you something real quickly. If I can find it, I thought I just had it open. And so let me look for it right quick. Ta-da-da. Wall section. Yep, that's that one. Okay, if I zoom into the wall section, you'll see that I've got a stud, a 3.5 inch stud, and I also have a 1/2 an inch of my sheathing on there. All right, so I'm gonna call that the same, so that when I drop this in there, technically it's going to go. This should have actually been over here. That's where it should have been. I don't know why I drew it there. So before I figure out where my roof's going to go, I'm going to offset these two lines 4 inches. So I'm going to offset that in 4 inches, and I'm going to set that in 4 inches. And then I'm going to take a construction line, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hit angle. And I'm going to go up to this little triangle that I made here, and I'm just going to grab those 2 points. Now I have a 6 and 12 pitch from my roof. And I'm just going to place it on the inside. So it basically went right there, supposed to have been right here on my drawing here. And I'm going to get rid of that line now. I don't need it. Actually, come to think of it, I don't need this line here either. I'm going to show you why. Notice that I have 24 feet up here. I'm going to highlight this line. I'm going to go to mirror, and I'm going to grab that dimension line right square in the middle right there, and I'm going to pull straight down. And I don't want to erase the source, so I'm going to hit no. Now I have the beginnings of my roof right here. Now I'm going to use 2x8s for my rafters. So a 2x8 is 1.5 inches by 7.25. So I'm going to offset 7.25, just like so. And then I'm going to use 3/4 inch plywood on the roof. So I'm going to offset again at 0.75. All right, so now I have basically this line and this line is where the shingles are going to go. Okay, I know it's kind of screwy to have to go through this rigmarole to get there, but it's how we kind of easily do it. So I'm going to trim all of this stuff off here, and I'm actually going to get rid of these 2 lines here that I used so that I have only the line that I had for my shingles. So this is where my shingles will go. Okay. I'm going to offset these 2 lines first at 5.5 inches. Then I'm going to offset the same line at 11.125 inches. So basically this gives me my 2 rake boards that's going to go on there. So I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to clean this up. Let's go back over to the section again and look at the outside of it. This particular one, I've only got 1 board on there. Let's put another one on there. Dang it. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Follow my line down through here. I need to take that nearest off. There. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to extend these lines out to my thing here. I'm going to put me a line in at this point. And I'm going to offset it 5.5. And then I can clean it up. Now I didn't use an 11 or a 1x12 on this backboard, but I just wanted to to kind of give you an idea of what it's kind of going to look like. So go back to this. I like changing my center up a little bit, making it green. So I'm going to change that to deck. And it's green now. And so back over at the wall section, let's see if I've done it right. I better check this before I start telling you. No, I did not do it right. Okay, so let's go back over here. Ignore what I just said about that other thing, and let's offset. And I'm going to offset this line here, 18.75 inches. Okay, so that is going to be how big our overhang is on the front and the back. Now, why did I go 18 3/4? So this is going to be the back, or it will be the backboard for the trim boards. So I'm going to offset that again at 0.75. And you'll see how this takes up here in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and get rid of some of these extra lines that I don't need. Just like that. I'm gonna leave that line there for now. And again, I'm gonna draw me a little line in here. And I'm going to offset that line 5.5 inches. And again, at 11.25 inches. Okay, I can delete that line right there. Don't need it anymore. All right, so I'm going to trim, but I'm going to extend. So I'm going to push my shift button. I'm going to extend that line out, cut that, get rid of all of that. I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to extend that line out to the green line and get rid of those two lines. Now, with a real nice motion here, I'm going to delete those two lines and this one. Now you see how the profile of our two boards here work out, even though these are not the same size, and that's okay. I'm going to highlight all of that, and I'm going to mirror it to the other side. I do not want to get rid of my source. I'm going to highlight those and clean this up. Go in and get that little green one there. There. All right, so now I have my front and back overhangs completed. What I need to do now is figure out what I'm going to do here. And so again, I'm going to offset the outside line of that post 4 inches, like I did a minute ago. I'm going to, let's do this porch roof at 3 and 12. Okay, so I'm going to make it 12 inches. Then I'm going to pull down and go 3 inches. I'm going to go to my construction line, go to angle, click the two ends there, and I'm going to place it right there, boom, on that second line right there. And I can get rid of that line now that I don't need it. All right, so these are going to be 2x8s as well. So I'm going to offset that line 7.25. Let's try this again. 7.25, not 0.75, 0.725. Okay, I'm going to offset that like that. And this time I'm going to offset again. I'm not going to use plywood on this one. I'm going to use tongue and groove 1x6s on there. So that gives me a little different height. So now this is our shingle line, and this is the bottom of the rafter, and this is the top of the rafter. I'm just going to highlight those two and get rid of them. Now, you see where it falls on the roof. I'm going to highlight the top of the roof there and cut that line out just like that. Just like we did here, I'm going to offset that 18.75, the front of the post here, just like that. And then I'm going to offset it again, 0.75. All right, so I'm going to offset my shingle line 5.5 and 11.25. Again, I'm going to highlight that shingle line there, and I'm going to trim those lines out. I'm going to hit match properties, and I'm going to make that one green. So this is what I've got so far. All right. So I'm going to start working on my overhang here by cutting some lines. Okay. Again, I want to make my little line up there, and I want to offset it. I can go ahead and offset it to 11.25 since I'm already there, and 5.5. Just like so. I'm going to get rid of the top line. Going to extend that over to the green and cut that and trim my green line. I'm going to extend this over to the bottom of the trim line, and then I'm going to get rid of all of that. And then I'm going to get rid of this and the top line up there. So now I have a nice looking overhang there. I'm going to highlight the bottom of that line, my trim line, and I'm going to get rid of the post so we don't need it. Okay, so now what I can do is I can offset this construction line here to 7.25 because this will be a 6x8 post on there, or a 6x8 beam. And I'm going to clean that up. Notice that when I rolled that in there and this went out of sight, it got rid of the whole line. So that was good. And I'm going to match my properties to the green again. I just like anything that's wood, I kind of like to have green so that I'm showing that. All right, so now we have our roof taking shape. I can actually move this and save it so that I can tell folks what the overhang or what the pitch of the roof is. I'll do the same thing for the other one over here. I'm just going to go ahead and put my numbers there. So I'm just going to make me a little thing there and say 12. And I'm going to pull this in. Okay, have that. Oh, and I'm going to change that to dimension. And I'm just going to take it down here and place it right there. I'm going to highlight that line and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to take it right over here and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to hit paste again right there since I've already got it made. I'm going to highlight those, double click, change that to a 3. And back over here, I'm going to drop that in there, highlight it, double click, and change it to a 6. Right. Working on through this now. All right. So let me draw something here for you to show you. Where's my what do I want to do? I want to look down on it. So where is my 2x4? Okay. So I want to explain something to you here. So if I'm looking down on the edge of the house, then let's see. This up. This is what a corner looks like on a house when you're looking down on it. And let me give a little bit of let me give the sheathing here a little bit. And I'm going to offset that 1/2 inch. And a 1/2 inch. Bring those two together. All right, so when we're working on this, when we're building this, this is our studs at the corner. And actually, I'm going to turn this around so that it makes a little bit better sense to you. Okay, I'm looking at this, I'm looking down on that line right there in this wall. Okay, so I have I'm sorry. I'll get this right in a minute. Kept looking at that thinking that's not right. This is my through wall, and this is my, I know what I've got. I'm sorry, guys, I'm trying here. It just didn't work out either. Yes, that's what I want. I'm sorry. All right, so my front and back walls are going to be my through walls, and my side wall here is going to be my butt wall. So that's why I wasn't paying attention very good there. Sorry about that. All right, so I have on this corner here, I'm going to be adding two 1 by or actually 5/4 by 4 pieces of Hardie trim. So I'm just going to pull that out. I'm going to go 3.5 and then 1, and there's what my Hardie Hardie trim looks like. I'm going to move that, put that into place, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to just mirror it over here like this, and then I'm going to pull it down so that it makes a corner. All right, so this is my trim here, and then of course my siding will go will butt up against it, and it will run, you know, both ways out through here, just like so. But the point I'm trying to get to is, stay on the right one, sorry. The point that I'm trying to get here is when we're looking at this from the side, we're going to be seeing 4.5 inches on the sides and 3.5 inches on the front and back. However, it is going to be an inch off. It'd be an inch off from our corner. So we go back down here to our corner. I'm going to highlight this line and I'm going to offset it 1 inch. Okay. Now I'm going to again offset 4.5 inches in the opposite direction. All right. Now this is my floor line. So I'm going to highlight my floor line and I'm going to get rid of this edge line above, and I'm going to get rid of my trim lines below. Okay, so now I have some trim going on there. I'm going to highlight that trim piece at the top and get rid of this. Now you can kind of see how this works out. We want an inch in one direction, 4 inches in the other. I'm going to highlight both of those lines and I'm going to mirror them to the other side. Don't want to erase them. I still want them there. I'm going to highlight that line again at the bottom and trim my stud line above. So now I have both of my trim lines on there. Okay. So far, so good. Let's decide how the ground's going to roll here. I'm just going to go to, actually, I'm not going to go, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click on that squiggly little line right there that's called spline. Okay. So I'm just going to click a couple of places here and, you know, you can make yours however you wish. So there's my yard. And I'm just going to get rid of those lines below the yard. Okay. I'm going to offset this line here down 2 inches. Then I'm going to offset again 1 inch. Now this is our deck. So I'm going to change, or our front porch, I'm going to change that to wood, just like so. And I'm going to trim this line up, this floor line, because I don't need the floor line over top of the deck. And I don't need the deck over top of or underneath the floor. So now I've got this. Okay. I'm going to offset this front post 1 inch and trim it up. Now I have my deck boards. I'm going to offset the bottom of the deck boards 7.25 for a 2x8. And then I'm just going to clean that up. Okay, so now I have that. Let's go ahead and put the skirt board on the house. I'm going to go ahead and kill this line here. Let's go ahead and put the skirt board on the house. Again, it's going to be 5.5 and 11.5 or 11.25, sorry. Just like that. Uh-oh, did something wrong. This line should have went off of the top line. There. Okay, so 11.5 off of this line and 5.5 off of the same line. I'm going to offset 0.75. We go down here to my foundation here. I'm going to offset this twice. Just like that. I'm going to extend my top line over to the outside. I'm going to extend my next line out, and then I'm going to trim this one back, and I'm going to cut that off. All right, now it's still kind of looking kind of weird. I want to keep this board, and I want to keep this board. So I'm going to clean this up, get rid of my deck boards on there. I'm going to get rid of this line and this line. No, I didn't want to get rid of that line. Dadgummit, sorry. That needs to go to the ground. There. Sorry, I trimmed that a minute ago and I shouldn't have. That's going to go to the ground. Okay, so trim that up so that it looks just like that. Much like what we did on the roof up here. I'm going to highlight that whole mess of lines right there, and I'm going to mirror it to the other side. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to trim and extend what I need to down here. Extend that line, trim, trim, trim. Now, I'm going to, again, make that center line green just so that it gives me a visual on there. So now I have what's going to be my block down here. I have my deck, and I have my porch here. I'm going to extend this line over to the house side here because that will be the, I'm going to keep on going until it gets all the way there. And then I can come back and cut those two out. This is going to be my tie beam, sorry. And I'm going to clean that up here, clean that up here. I no longer need my ceiling line. Okay, so I'm going to also make that green. So this is now my tie beam, and this is my carry beam. Carry beam means that it, you know, the rafters to the front porch set on that beam. It carries the weight to it. This tie beam just ties this to the building so you don't get any, you know, back and forth crap going on. Now we can go ahead and just start jumping in some windows. So I'm going to do a construction line vertical, and I'm going to grab the two sides. This is a 2052 window. Okay, and there's nothing else on this wall that I need to indicate. I'm going to go over to grab my windows and doors, and I'm going to find a what did I say it was? 2 by 5 2, I believe. 2 by 5 2. Okay. 2052. All right. If copy that and bring it over here, and I'm going to hit paste. One thing, remember that you know, when I'm doing these for other people, generally they want a 1 by 6 on this for the trim on the window. I think I had you guys do a 1 by 4 on there, so I'm going to change. I'm going to delete that and fix mine right quick to match yours. Rid of that. And I'm going to make this the same as the yellow. There. All right. So again, here's my floor line. I need to figure out where the top of the windows are going to go. They need to go at 80 inches, which is the same as 6'8". So I'm going to offset my floor line to 80 inches. I'm going to grab that window and I'm going to move it. I'm just going to grab that top corner right there, drop it right into place. I'm going to highlight that window again, and I'm going to copy, and I'm going to move it over to the other side. And that way I can clean this up. There. Cool beans. Now all I got to do is put in my hatching. So for horizontal, let's see, let's do something here. Let's make it look prettier. Okay, so I'm just going to put a line in there, and I'm going to offset that booger to 3.5 inches for the hardy trim it up to make it look good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a certain type of siding here, and I'm going to put a different type of siding there. So I'm going to go to my hatch, and I'm going to find the ANSI 31. I'm going to come down here into this section here, and I'm going to hit click. Okay, I'm going to escape. I want to go back and highlight that because I did not put it on the, whoops, didn't want to move it because I didn't put it on the right layer here. It should have been on hatch. And I'm going to have to make it bigger. So I'm going to say, I'm going to start with 10. Where does that give me? Still need to go bigger. Let's go 50. And I need to also make this 45. No, I need to make it 315. All right, so I need to measure these so that I know how big this siding is. So I'm just going to make and that is 6¼ inches. I need to increase that. I'm going to say 54. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to measure this again. It should be 7 inches or close to it. Well, that didn't go up very much, did it? So let's go to 60. Let's see where that comes to. Seven. So I need to go down a little bit. Maybe it's 58 that I had. Check that one more time. That is so close. I'm going to leave it at that. All right. So 58. There's a good pattern on that. Now, for up here, I could do the same thing and make it just run vertical. I want to show you one thing, though. You can load different hatches in. It's not very easy. So, you know, it's something that I would wait to get a little bit more advanced to do that. If you want to text me, I will certainly explain to you how to load these up, or you can just Google it and you can find different ones. So I'm going to go with batten up here. I'm going to put it there, and I'm going to put it there. Again, I didn't put it on the right layer, so I'm going to go back and put it on hatch. Very good. All right, looking good now. Okay, lastly, I'm going to change this to hatch before I do this. Then I'm going to go back to my hatching again, and I'm going to find sand. Architectural sand. I'm going to go right down here, and now that is stucco. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop at this point, and so that it doesn't make for such a long video. So we've got this started. We've got our heights that we can now project over to our front and rear. And that will be on the next video that I will have right very soon. Thanks, guys.